Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today I want to show you guys how to properly set your piston wing gap. It's pretty important when you change your piston wings, your jug, whatever, and you got new wings, you got to make sure that the gap is perfect the way it is. So if that's something that interests you, then it's on a DRZ project. I don't know if you guys remember, my buddy had a DRZ 400 which went down in the water, sucked a bunch of water. Big problems. I did a video on the spark plug thread on this. So long story short, the bike never started again. We had lost compression. The head was done. The valves were worn out. Piston wing wasn't looking good, so we had to go into it. So here's what we got today. We have cylinder, completely re-honed, really nicely done. Hope you can see that. Millennium Technologies. I will post a link in the description. These guys do an amazing job. They're not the cheapest on the block, but everything is always really nice. It doesn't matter if they do a jug, if they do a head, a crank, really high quality stuff. And honestly, in my opinion, when you already go into the motor and do motor work, you know, it's worth spending a bit more money and have it done right. Yes, we could have got a cheap Chinese aftermarket kit probably for $100 cheaper and just throw it together, but that's not how we roll here, and we like to do stuff the right way. So today we're working on the jug. We have new piston and we got new wings. So some guys, they just put everything together, slap it in, call it a day, good to go. That might work, but it might not work. And I'm going to explain you guys exactly what's going on here. Alright everybody, so you can see here's the cylinder, also called the jug. This is the piston, and here we got the wings. So we have a few different wings here. The biggest wing is what we call the compression wing. This piston wing goes all the way on top, and that's the wing that does most of the work. So the piston goes up and down, the compression, combustion, everything happens around this wing. These three wings here are the oil wings. So this weird looking one sits in the middle, one sits on top, one sits on the bottom. And basically what these do is they prevent the oil from the crank passing this point here from the piston, so we don't burn oil. Depending on your application, you know, 2 strokes obviously don't have these because they don't run crank oil. Some bigger motors have 2 or sometimes even 3 compression wings. So different setups, but this is the DRZ setup here. So as you can see here, this here is what we call the wing gap. As we put this in the jug, that space will be smaller, and there must be a certain space between it. When the motor runs and all the explosion, everything happens, this gets hot and hot metal expands. So basically the gap is going to get smaller and smaller as hot as it gets. What we don't want is, we don't want the 2 ends basically do this to meet. Because when the 2 ends get together, the wing cannot expand anymore, and then mostly they break or they flap, so they destroy the top end. So piston gap ring, that's not a myth, that's something that's taken seriously. So if you hear a weird little noise in the background, that's my little portable air cooler. This is South Carolina, we're in July, it is hot in here. I do not have an AC in my little shed, so that little portable air cooler hopefully keeps me going. So now it comes the next question. Well, how do you know what wing gap, how much do I need, and how to adjust it? So here's the thing, I always tell you guys, go get a shop manual for your bike. Your shop manual will tell you what you need to know. And what I did is I printed this out of a shop manual. I'm going to show that real quick in a minute, see what it says. And this is the best way to go. Don't ask your buddy, don't ask on the internet, because you're going to get a whole bunch of different answers. This is the way to go. This is how you figure out your piston wing gap. So I hope you can see this on the video. I'm not sure if it will be readable or not, but basically it tells you here what's going on, how you should measure it, and it's going to say piston wing free gap. This is the gap how it is right now, and then the piston wing end gap, that's with it sitting in the jug. So this is an aftermarket piston wing. This is not OEM Suzuki. So I went on the piston manufacturer website just to see if they recommend any different type of piston wing gap, which they don't. That means we're going to stick to the OEM procedure here and the piston wing gap that they recommend. So our piston wing end gap says 0.5 millimeters. That means half a millimeter. This is very small. It also tells you the wing gap in inches if you're more familiar with this. I'm German, so I know the metric system better, and it's a metric bike, so we stick to that. So here we have the cylinder, also called the jug, and what we're going to do now is we're going to take the first wing, which is the compression wing, and we're going to set it inside the jug. That means we're just going to squeeze it in here, and then we're going to use the piston to square the wing. You want the wing sitting flush all the way around, so it's not at an angle or anything, so we can get the piston wing gap, sorry, as close as possible. So I just push that down pretty even, and there we go. So this is how this would look like now. Okay, and if you can see in here, this little gap right here, this is what we need to verify and adjust. I don't know if you can see that on the head cam, but this is what we're working with right here. So we already know that 0.5 millimeter is the amount that we need, and this is right here on my feeler gauge. I hope you can see that. It says 0.5 millimeter or the 0.020 inches. And what we want to do here is this feeler gauge needs to go into that gap for that gap to be perfect, and I cannot get it in there. I hope you can see that. So in here, this is not going to work. That means we need to grind down the end caps here to open up the piston wing a little bit. So we're going to take this out again. Alright, so now we know that our piston wing gap is too tight. So when it's sitting in the jug, we do not have enough clearance in here. So how are we going to address this? Basically, we need to grind down the ends of that. And there's two decent ways how to do this. One is with a file and one is with a grinder. Not a regular grinder, but a piston wing grinder. And I will show you both tools right now. Alright, so this little contraption right here, this is a piston wing grinder. So what it does is, it has a little grinding wheel in here, and you just turn it. And you set your wing against it and push it together, and then it's grinding down both sides simultaneously. This works pretty good, but it's a little bit on the dangerous side because this takes down really fast, so you got to be careful to not overdo it. If you took off way too much of your piston wing, then that's basically it. And you're going to have to get a new piston wing. And the next thing is just a diamond file. You know, just go in old school way and you just start filing it down. This takes more time, but it's a bit more on the secure side. But since I know we're missing a good bit, I'm just going to use this guy real quick and start grinding on him. As you can see, this has a tab with a hole. You can bolt it down somewhere permanently, but I don't use that too often, so I just put it in the vise and just go from there. So that means now I can turn this over nicely. So now I'm going to take my wing. My wing is going to sit against these two little wheels here, and then I'm going to push it together and start grinding on it. All right. So as you can see, I didn't grind a lot. This is a little bit of a tedious process. Go step by step. Don't do too much at a time. So if you take off way too much, then you're going to have to toss that wing and start over. It's not too bad, you know. We're shooting for 0.5. If you're at 0.7, we'll probably still be okay. We lose a little bit compression, but it's a minor thing. But if you take a lot off, then that's going to be a problem. That means I'm going to set this back into the jug now and square it up again and measure it again. All right, here we got the jug. Here we got the piston wing. I'm going to square it up. And I don't know if you can see that, but from eyesight I already can see that it took off a good bit. So let's see what we got. Now we need more, so back to grind them some more. And we check it again. Okay, it's getting close. I can almost feel the gauge getting in. If I would really press on it, it probably would go in. Means we're getting close now. All right, still not there. Just keep rolling on it. Oh, tiny bit more. It's pretty much trying to get in now. We're very close. And there it is, right there. Hope you guys can see that. Let me see if I can get at an angle. There you go. It just goes straight in there. Now, this is perfect right there. Beautiful. And this, guys, is how you guys gap your wings. So, check out what you need for gap in the manual. If you're getting, like, for example, on a 2-stroke, a Vortex, Piston or whatever, many times there's a manual in there. Sometimes the piston recommends, the piston manufacturer, recommends you to run certain wing gap. If not, then just go by OEM. And if you have a doubt, pretty much every manufacturer is going to give you some type of data online. As I said, I looked up the Warsner website, and they said that the minimum gap that they need to have is 0.39. So, you know, we're at 50 now, and that's pretty good. I'd rather have it a little bit wider open, just to be on the sure side. This is not a race engine. We're not looking for every ounce of compression or horsepower. We just want to make this thing run and run reliable. So I felt very good about running this at the 50 that the manufacturer recommends anyways. So what I showed you, this was just the compression wing. So the oil wing and all that, the other wings, we have to do the same procedure. I'm not going to show you all that because it's basically the same thing. So yeah, this is pretty easy. I'm going to show you one more thing on the piston. So when you get your new piston, if you see here, hope you can see that there's an arrow and it says EXH. That means exhaust. So when you have your piston rings done and you have them all put together and you're ready to go, there is a possibility to put your piston backwards, and that is not good. You do not want to put it backwards. The EXH means exhaust, has an arrow, so you want to point that towards the exhaust port of your cylinder head. And the reason for that is, let's see if you can see that, these gaps here, these recesses, are for the valves, and you have two different type of sizes of valves in your normal 4-stroke cylinder head. The intake valves are always larger than the exhaust valves, and I'm going to show you that on the head real quick. Alright, this is the head that we had redone for the bike, and as you can see, this is intake, bigger valves, exhaust, smaller valves. And you can see here the recess for the exhaust are smaller than the big ones for the intake. So basically this needs to sit like this on top of each other. So the bigger spaces are to clear the exhaust. If you put that backwards, you're probably going to bend the valves because they're going to hit the piston, and you do not want that. So guys, as you can see, this is something pretty easy. That's something you guys can do at home. No fancy equipment needed, just the basic tools, a little bit of know-how. You need to know your piston wing gap, so figure that out before you start. And just take your time, be patient, and you can get this done. As you guys could see, I needed to go back and forth a couple times to get it where I needed to. So take your time, don't cut off too much, you know, be in a rush. Just step by step, get there and you guys be good. So if you guys have any questions, shoot me a message. I'm always glad to help. If you guys like this type of content, please consider subscribing and hit the like button. And I see you guys on the next one. Auf Wiedersehen.